Hi bros, thanks to this tiny box you can seriously extend lifespan of battery pack in your e-bike Escoot e-wheel. I like to call it stop charger because it's literally disconnecting charger from battery at chosen voltage. So thanks to this tiny thing we can set two the most important voltage values for battery pack. The first one is of course storage voltage. If you will not use your e-wheel for longer than 1 day, then it's highly recommended to charge your battery to storage voltage, which is usually 13% lower than the charger voltage. Let me show you first how to calculate. So in Lauti TI30 the charger got 67.2 volts. Now we have to do minus again the max voltage of the charger, so 67.2, and now multiple this one by 13%, so 0.13. And if you will set the stop charger to 58.5 volts, then we've got storage voltage, so we can leave this Scoot for quite a long time without worries that battery will be damaged. And the last one is max charge voltage. Of course, every single time you can fully charge your e-wheel, so you are just connecting the charger and waiting for the green light. But if you will lower this max charge voltage to around 3% less, the battery lifespan could be even 2 times greater, can you believe it? And you will not lose more than 5% of the max working range. So this is pretty decent. That's why this thing is kind of useful. I showed you how to calculate the storage voltage. So now let me show you how to calculate max best charging voltage. So again, in TI30 charger got 67.2 volts minus again 67.2 volts. Now multiple by 0.025, which is 2.5%. And if you will set the stop charger to 65.5 volts for TI30, then the battery lifespan could be literally even 2 times greater. How does it work? Actually, not very simple, and it's even harder to explain it, but let me try it. Now you can see on the right side translation from the Chinese, but more or less on the right side, so over here it's output for the battery, and on the left side is input from the charger. Here you can see 2 buttons, small LED light and LCD screen. Now let's connect the battery to the stop charger, and we can see the voltage of the battery. But actually when I made this video, I dropped this thing on the ground from like 1 meter, and it's not accurate anymore. Let me guess why. On the left side you can see the proof that it was pretty accurate. Actually it shows the same voltage like on the power supply, so it was okay, so don't drop it. But now I have to consider that now it shows a little bit lower voltage, because it should be now 35.5 volts from the battery, but it can be done. For $8 it's okay. When I will connect to the charger power supply, then why it's working? Did I set some correct values? Yes, correct values. That's bad. Let's make it incorrect. Yes, sometimes it's wrong that it's working, because I cannot show you how to make it work if it not work. So now when I connect stop charger to battery at first, we can see the error message, which is really nothing but to set proper values we have to hold bottom button, and now we are in the menu. So now as you can see the red LED is blinking. So the thing is that if the voltage of the battery will be higher than this value, it will not charge. So let's change it to around 30 volts. To change the values we have to click at the top button. So let's click it to around 30 volts. Again, battery from Xiaomi now got around 35 volts. So we are under this value, which is good. And to change from this point to this point, we have to click at the bottom button. And green LED is blinking, which means that this is at what voltage stop charger will disconnect power supply charger from the battery. So now I would love to set something like 35.9 volts. So Now the first one is blinking, so let's set to number 3, next one to 5, and the next one to 9. And let's click it. Seems to be working. Now let's connect to power supply. Will it work? Yep, it's charging. So as you can see, it shows 0.4%, voltage lower than it should be. But yeah, I can consider it. So it's kind of decent stuff for $8. So now, of course, when I will increase the amperage, the voltage also will rise. And let's go to 4. Yeah. So as you saw, it stopped charge at 35.9 volts. So it seems to be working just fine. Of course, I went too far with the amperage. That's why the voltage rises so fast. But now let me show you how it's working with some big scoots. At first, let's connect stop charger to battery. You can expect small spark. And it shows reading 57.2 volts. Now, let's set the proper values. I would love to set maybe something like 62 volts. Now you know how to do it. Okay. And now let's connect it to the charger. 3, 2, 1, and... Oh, come on. No. I tried to connect plus to minus. That's why I like XT30, because it's pretty hard to connect opposite. Stupid me. We've got red light. So it's working pretty good. So what are the cons? The first one is that this thing is not very accurate. You will have to play with the voltage. If you will use stock charger, which is 2 amp, then more or less it will be accurate, but I guess less. If you will use some power beast like this 7 amp charger, then for sure the voltage will be way off. Because as you saw when I show it on the lab power supply, when I increase the amperage, also the voltage rise. And this is simple stop charger. There is no any extra electronic. So if the voltage will rise to certain voltage, it will just disconnect. But if you need something more accurate, more precise than this thing, I can recommend that kind of power supply where you can set the voltage and amperage. Of course, it costs around $120, so it's not as cheap like this thing which cost $8. So the choice is yours. Of course, for safety reason, I always recommend to add a fuse, in this case on the input and on the output. Simple SMD 5 amps will do the job. So bros, if you have any questions, leave it in comment section. I will back to you and try to help. See you in next one.